to the Los Angeles Tribune, and we have the special leadership series. And I'm super excited to have with myself today the Savage, where we are talking about his business pitch and a little bit about yourself, DaSavage. Go ahead. You
Hey,
got the floor.
how y'all doing? I'm the Savage himself, and I'm a rapper out of Maryland. I also am a co-owner of the clothing brand Wild X2. It's a popular East Coast brand. It stands for You Only Young Once. And we've been in business for now 5 years for the clothing brand. I've been making music for 2, and it's looking pretty good. Y'all definitely we definitely had this thing on the East Coast right now. You know, y'all definitely want to come check us out. We got a store out there in Westminster, Maryland right now, close to Baltimore, that's actually doing really good. So definitely something y'all want to tap into.
That is awesome. Actually, I lived right outside of Westminster, so I know the area. So that's super cool. So what got you interested in having a clothesline?
Well, a couple of my friends they was making music. So I would go to shows with them, and people would always think I was the artist because I had to look for it. And the guy who actually owned the clothing brand, he was one of my good friends, like cousins. So he was like, man, you the look, so I need to put the clothes on you. And I always would go in there. He would give me something new for the show every time. And then eventually, I got the thing where I was like, man, we need to do something different. Like, these look the same as what everybody else was doing. So I started coming out with the different colors. I was changing the patterns and all that. And it kind of took it to the next level. So he was like, man, you about to be my main brand ambassador. And as that took up, he had a vision board, and we was over there making clothes. I was giving clothes away for my family for Christmas so they could be in the brand that I wear. And he had the vision board that said he wanted to get the manufacturer making the stuff. He wanted to talk to China and all that different type stuff. But he kept saying, we're going to do this next year. And I'm like, why are we doing it next year? Why we can't do it today? So he put me on the phone with the people, and I made it happen like that. So because I made it happen so fast, he was like, man, this is your brand. Like, you done way more than I done. So this is you. You feel me? So we and him, we kind of just became a partnership on it. He handles all the behind the scenes business, and I'm the face of everything. I'm the one that puts it out there.
That is awesome. So how are you promoting this, the clothes brand? What are you doing to get it out there?
So mainly
so basically, go ahead. So basically, how can anybody out there look for your clothes brand?
Okay, so we normally use Instagram. All the social media is by WildX2 Apparel, but we also have the .com. So WildX2Apparel.com, and you can find all of our clothes on there. You can, if you can't type it in, you can just Google it and it'll come up, or you can just go right to search bar, type in WildX2Apparel.com, and it'll come right up. You can find all of our clothing on there. We actually have a reptile page too, so if you click through the regular website, it'll take you to our reptile page as well. So anybody that's interested in the snakes and iguanas and stuff like that, we also have that tab with our business.
So can you slowly just say the name of the website?
Yes, it's YOX2Apparel.com. That's YOX2Apparel.com.
And how did you come up with that name?
My friend actually came up with it because it stands for You Only Young Once. So yeah, he just put he didn't want to put yo-yo, so he put YO times 2. So but it stands for You Only Young Once. And as we just pushed the brand, I actually have it tattooed on my body as well. You Only Young Once, because this is my brand for real. So it's everything to me.
Dude, I'm 55. I get that. That's a good way to remember that. So yeah, it looks really good quality. I mean, the sleeves and everything are really nice. And so you also are musically inclined, aren't you? Or talented?
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I've been rapping a couple years, and I started rapping back in 2018 after some stuff happened. You know, my daughter passed away, and I was fighting some legal issues. And I took that time after I, handled the case, got put on probation and all that. I made a song for my daughter, just for myself mostly, but just to get vent, because I'm a street dude, and when you're from the streets, you don't really talk to too many people. So I had to kind of vent it out to myself. I made a song for her, and I kind of liked it, so I put it out to my family, my friends. It was like, yeah, I hear this, tell me what y'all think. And they was like, yo, that's you. Like, that's what you need to do. So, and I told you, before, when I was going to the shows, everybody else thought I was an artist anyway. So I was like, man, that's what I'm gonna do. And I went out, recorded a couple songs, and then one of my friends who had been rapping for years put me on his showcase. And when I performed, the crowd went crazy, and that's when I was like, okay, this is really what I do here. So I just stopped really making music. My son's mother, she had stopped making music with me, and she actually kind of put a lot of money behind it. And I put out my album and all that, and then it just started going crazy. Like the fame just started coming up. So yeah, that's
That
kind of
is
what I.
so that is super excited. The fact that you went through all that traumatic stuff to be able to actually say, you know what, that was then, stories and things happen to people. But look at
Mm-hmm,
how it's made you empathetic, compassionate, and the fact that you're doing something so positive. I think that's just fantastic. I
mm-hmm.
really think that's so fantastic. You should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah,
What
definitely. I use my story. Basically, I look at my story like it's my life, but my story is more like the people's story. Because when I tell my story, it helps somebody else that might have even went through that, or it could prevent somebody from going through that. When they learn all the stuff that I've been through, it's kind of like, oh, that's how that play out. Or, dang, I'm not the only one going through this. Somebody else is too. You feel me? So I use my music kind of to motivate people, motivate the streets and people that's not street.
That is so, I'm so inspired that I get to interview you because you've got such a great heart and soul. And the fact that, you might have to get another clothesline for some of us older people.
I mean, you still young at heart, so you always young. You only young once. You only
That-
live once, so you still young at heart.
so is there anything else you want to say about your clothesline as far as, you said it's in a store, but other than the store, you can go to the website, correct?
Yep, we have the Instagram, Facebook. You can find us on. You can go to the website and order. Um, we're working on doing some custom orders just coming
Uh-huh.
soon, but we also the store that we partnered up with is a store called IO Boutique, and that's where our clothes brand is in right now. We was actually in shoes, no sports zone out here in Maryland, but then they closed them all down due to whatever happened with their business. So now we're in IO Boutique, and they opened the Baltimore location, the Westminster location. In a couple months, we're opening the Atlanta location, and we're talking to somebody in London to open a London location. So we can be overseas. And then we also have the Wild X2 Reptiles, which is out there in Texas, but we had to close in that store too. So,
That's
and
awesome.
we
You
got
want
a
to
lot
show
of big
that?
things coming.
You want to show your shirt again? Oh,
Yeah.
get the other side there, the Y.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
Look
go.
at that.
So,
That's branding right there. I'm going to even
yeah,
make it a
definitely.
little bit bigger. So you can go
Definitely.
to that website and you can check out your apparel.
Yep, wildx2apparel.com.
That is
And then,
awesome.
and as
And
far as
then
my,
as far
go
as
ahead.
your rapping, singing, can they find you that on like iTunes or
Yes, you can find me
Spotify?
on everything except for Pandora. That's the only thing I'm waiting on right now. But everything else, you just look up. You can even Google the Savage himself, DaSavage himself, and you'll find everything. You just straight Google me, you'll see my picture come up. It'll have all my music listed up, little
So
bios about me and all of that.
wonderful. So let me ask you this with the DaSavage himself. Do you have some stuff that shows your clothesline too? So like all in one kind of thing?
Yeah, so if you go to my Instagram, it has everything on there. I only
Okay.
wear my brand, so whenever you see me, you see the brand.
Okay.
Even on my music, it has Wild X too, so that you always know where to find it. And on the clothing brand website, you'll have links to my stuff as well. So everything ties both of us two together at all times. So
That's so awesome. So I'm very, very thankful and honored to have met you and to know that you became part of our leadership series and that great things are going to happen for you. And
I,
I
I
look,
appreciate y'all for real.
yeah, and I know I'll be seeing you and talking to you really soon here. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we go?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually explain my story so people know.
Okay.
Back in 2018, I got arrested for drug and weapons charges, and I had a daughter a couple months right before that happened. So I had issues going on with the mother of my child at the time because she felt it's little personal stuff that she was kind of having issues with, and she kind of kept my daughter from me. So in the process of that happening, when I was having legal issues and fighting all that, I didn't tell her because I knew she could have been the one to kind of throw my life away if stuff got tied down to it. And in the midst of that happening, she went out of town, gave my daughter to her aunt. Her aunt fell asleep on top of my daughter. That's when my daughter passed away. And in the midst of that happening, of course, going through all the legal issues, the court systems, they don't really care about your personal life. You feel me? So when I was explaining what was going on, they didn't care. So it was definitely a traumatic, very traumatic time to go through. But one thing I say to the people, like, it's bad, but it's always gonna be a better day. Like that, God do everything for a reason. And even though that's so, I saw my daughter gone. It's one of it's the saddest thing I ever seen. It led me to making music. It led me to actually being a part of this clothing brand, meeting people like yourself who changed my life. Like I'm you when you in the streets, you can never technically leave the streets, but at the same time, it's like my life has been so positive for the last couple of years because of this happening. It changed my life completely. Meeting people like yourself, like looking at you smile right now is making me smile. Like people, you don't really see that in the hood, but
Oh
I
man,
met people like you because of that.
dude, if you knew my story too, and I'll tell you what, it takes getting out of your own way to
Definitely.
realize you can't change what happened. So why live in it? Do something better for
Hmm.
somebody else. And you've done that. And I see your passion about clothes, about rapping, and keeping your daughter in spirit because you know she's with you. I'm
Hmm.
super excited. It's an honor. Okay, you stay right there. I want to thank and welcome everybody for watching us here at the Los Angeles Tribune, the Leadership Series. And this is DaSavage himself. Look him up. This is only the beginning for him, and I'm just excited to be at the beginning with him. So, you guys
Hmm.
have a good one. Thank you.
Yeah, take care.